Well, hello, and welcome back to the Tower. So, let's talk about the tournament. And it was another nail biter. I actually got a late start on this one, too. And I think it was another one where I barely made rank 1. I've been having, like I said in some of my other videos, this was a very busy week for me. Obviously, you should be able to tell from the fact that I haven't really answered a lot of comments. I kind of plan on catching up on that soon. And so I thought I started and I was in the 29th place with one wave. Now, fortunately, I have, since I know I'm not going for the distance, I have my speed cards equipped, except for intro sprint. I don't use that one. And so when I started this one, I went and it was a nail biter. So I thought I was going to lose. I started 100 waves behind. We had about 3 hours left in the tournament. But fortunately, I did manage to pull ahead and I was able to take first place, so that's great. So that was an interesting tournament. The next one, of course, is going to be Champions League. And that's still my sandbag tournament. I don't have permanent chrono field, so that's something we're still working on. And I'm currently just, honestly, just not interested in WASs. If that works for you, that's great. I'm glad to hear it, but I would just wouldn't have any luck. So I'll just stick with what's tried and true for me. So that said, here's the event. Now I did have a bug with the event where it gave me all of the quests up front. Oh, workshop upgrades. We'll do that in a minute. When I have to start doing the demon mode ones, which I haven't done yet. Mostly because I was very busy farming coins, if you can't tell. This was also a repeat. It was the Prisma one, which I already have, so this really gave us some ability for me to work on upgrading my bot here, and I'll go ahead and I'll buy a multiplier. Now, I'll probably save what's left over just so that I can have it for next event. I might have spent a little bit too much. We'll see. We'll see what the next event brings us, and again, if you haven't seen all the missions, they're here. Nothing too exciting. Alright, now on to upgrading. Now you know I've been eager to do this. Obviously, we are reducing the cooldown of Chrono Field. We've got it down to 1 minute and 40 seconds now. We only have probably about 1,000 stones to spend here, I want to say. I want to say it's about 1,000 stones left. No, this is probably closer to 800 now. I think it was 955 or something like that. So now it's probably just a hair over 800 to go, and then we can max this out. And then we can start working on duration, and duration is already up to a good 25 seconds, thanks to research. Let's take a look at research. We're going to take a detour. So yeah, I took your guys' advice, and I tried to spend down my Triforces, and I have had some success with that, so I appreciate the perspective there. Obviously, I'm doing some short ones, just because of the way the time is with this. So I do wish we had like more options. I've read the Discord. I've heard some people wanting a 12-hour option. I think that would be great. I honestly wish we could just set it. Set it and, rather than have 3 predefined anything less than 24 hours. I would also honestly like the ability, if you have 24 hours, to be able to extend this, right? Just a little more flexibility here. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. The way research works, especially now, makes me want nothing more than to have a queue system. Because, for example, like this research, and this is good, we're almost done with chronofield range, which is great. I actually don't know where we lie with the other researches. Let's just take a look here. We're not going to go into too much in depth of researches because I tend to go over into researches more than I should. But, I do want to at least bring up the chart. And it is... Okay, so these two are 30, and we're already on 21, which is great. I mean, obviously, of course, the last 9 levels, plus this one, the one in progress, the last 10, I should say, are really going to be much longer. But that's fine. We're at least seeing kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. And like I've said before, longer researches I actually don't mind. I find longer research is just much easier in general to work with, and much easier in general to time. You don't have to, and I don't have to be as concerned with how I boost. For example, this is roughly an 8-hour boost at 3x, means this is going to lose a day, and we're going to have probably 23-ish hours on the clock when this finishes. I couldn't, I would not triple boost a, another 8-hour boost on this. At best, I would do an 8-hour boost times 2, which leaves about 8 hours on the clock, just because of how the time works out. Now, if I could do like a 12-hour, I might do a 12-hour times a half, which would be about 18 hours. But you kind of see what I'm getting at, and how the complexity changes, especially with shorter researches. Because the issue is, if I did another 12-hour triple boost, I need to be sure that I'm available before the 8 hours ends to queue up the next research. Otherwise, I just not only wasted boosting, it becomes kind of complex like that. So I don't know what I'll do. I will say, I usually just, when it's under 24 hours, I just pay the gems. I'm really not in, and the thing is, the times I haven't paid the gems have actually bit me, because then I forget to queue another research up, and I've lost time. So to me, it's better when it's a small amount of time, just pay the gems. The game is better about notifying you that the researches are done. I will give the game that, so that's good news. But that's just how it's been in my experience. So, but either way, we'll be finished with this. Now, when we finish Chronofield research, I think what we're going to do, and this is is we'll just pick up damage. As damage is behind critical factor, we'll go ahead and max damage out, then max critical factor out. I don't know if once we get these two done, I do think I'm going to start doing the lab coins discount. I just want to max this out. It's one of those things, once I max this out, then then it's just done. It's done forever. It's probably going to be a relatively short research anyways. Let's see. Am I right about that? Or am I wrong about that? Oh, it works differently for this one. No, it actually is a super long research. I was wrong about that. It honestly can't be any long. It honestly gets about as long as some of the other researches I've done. So that might be a permanent guest in our research slot. We'll see. I do kind of just want to get it done, and the reason I want to get it done is just because if I get it done, then it just frees up the slot. And I can just research anything I want knowing I'm going to get the best deal. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, at least at 41, it's short enough where we should knock some of it out. It's the same with these discounts. I need to also get those discounts up. But I wanted to get this up, get these up. Well, this, it doesn't matter as much. But the real reason I wanted to get that up is because eventually we will be going back to leveling our modules. And we're going to need to do these two. And these two researches get really expensive. But because they're discount researches, you can basically do them at any time. The only research you can't do at any time is that one up there. It's really annoying to me. So we'll see. We'll see if I do this. You guys will probably be like, oh, you're wasting research time. But you know what? When I finish it, I'll just be done with it. So, like I said, we'll see. I probably have such a long road in front of me. I honestly thought we were going to not finish these, but by the time we get the stones for Chronofield, this is going to be done. This is going to be done. This is almost done. So, Chronofield will be done. So, I'll just get it out of the way. And I do believe, like, the super critical one, yeah, these are super cheap. And so are these. So, I'm not too worried about it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get, get more damage per meter. Eventually, we will increase the max rend armor multiplier, just not now. That's actually, unlike the other ones, this is an expensive research that's quick. And I have heard something about health regen. And I don't know if we're going to go down the path of health regen. Somebody mentioned the wall research is down here, like wall regen, wall fortification. So to really help with chipping, I don't know. I probably need to do the wall research. The reason I haven't done them is because they're so expensive. I want to do my discount first. So we'll probably do that. And And you know, I said I wasn't really going to spend a lot of time on research, and look at how much time we've already spent. But it is what it is. There are some other interesting ones I might do, which is this is looking more viable just to knock this out. Double Death Ray, I don't know about that one. Super Tower bonus, don't know about that one. The recharge ones look really interesting, like we might be doing them at some point in the future. They're probably pretty big researches. They're either really big or really expensive. I'm not sure which it is. We're going to look. So they all go 7 levels. Okay, so they're just really expensive. So they're all relatively quick. Like, for example, Recharge Demon Mode goes down to 300 waves, and it costs 14 trillion at the end. So those are the kind of ones that, like, I really want the max lab discount for. So, and the same thing, like, I definitely want to get Recharge Second Wind. That gets it down to 400 waves. Recharge Missile Barrage goes down to 200 waves. So these are, like, really important researches to eventually do. So, but they're expensive. They're fast but expensive. And yeah, maybe one day we'll ever max that. I doubt it. In terms of frequency, the only one I need to worry about is amp. We'll just get the amp frequency up. This is cheap, though. And yeah, what is the amp frequency? We're going to check that. And you know, I said I wouldn't, and it's 20 levels, and it takes 63 days, so that's a nothing research. This is a filler research. So, and it's also, is it expensive? No, it is not expensive. It costs, it gets up to $500 million, which is not expensive. So once again, I have said we weren't going to spend a lot of time on research, and we probably did not do that. As far as modules go, I have some to merge here. Yeah, I just auto-merge everything now. Once we get the last card slot, we will be getting back into modules. So let's take a look here. Oh, we can max this guy out. Can we get this one? Nope. Oh, that's new. Oh, okay. Galaxy Compressor, I think, has been a big W. We need to reroll that. Again, I don't know what effects we want on my Mythic Dimension Core. If you could let me know in the comments, that would be extremely helpful, because we need to start thinking about rerolling these. We're not going to do that in this episode because I don't even know what to reroll. And like I said, we need to get the last card slot, which is 6,500. So I'm hoping we will get this probably not next week, maybe the week after. I didn't do too great on gems this week. I just really wanted that last, and see, I missed. Who knows how long that one's been waiting for me. But we're finally going to get onto the main show, which is enhancing ourselves. Which the reality is, I actually wanted to make this video earlier because I wanted to get the coin bonus, and get the coin bonus again. 22 trillion for that one. We could probably get it next week. I'm wondering if I should even bother with cash bonus. Now, other people warned me about upgrading these to the cells bonus. I've yet to see how many cells that you get. I think it's 5 to 7 from where I'm at. Which, if it's 5 to 7, I would need to get this up to 20 because it apparently doesn't do fractions. So that's kind of a big, L. I really think like it should store fractional amounts behind the scenes. Like, decimals are cheap, but it is what it is. So, I mean, I don't know that this is actually doing anything. But I also don't have a chart that tells me, like, what the cells per tier is. Like, if anybody knows that, could you please let me know? We're 3 trillion away from unlocking the recovery package enhancements, which is kind of unfortunate. I don't know where I would want to dump. Well, you know, we could do the free upgrades, I guess. That one's more than I wanted it to be. Okay, we can unlock this. Oh, this is cheap. comparatively cheap. We got that to 1.3 times. That's real. Oh, okay. We need to spend 450 trillion to get the level skip enhancements. So that's kind of the question. I walked away with about 30 trillion today. Do we spend the next 15 weeks trying to get to the level skips, or should we go enhance something else? I feel like it's a valid question. I actually don't know what recovery package percent does, but you know what? It was inexpensive enough to get it 30% more. Free upgrades, maybe we should have invested in that and just waited next week to get the coin bonus up. Oh, it's whatever. In terms of defense, again, this is where some people have recommended that I get the Health Plus. I'm assuming the landmine enhancements are just extra damage. Maybe we should unlock that next. We could have unlocked that today. I would have just put more into health. Maybe I should get some health regen. I don't know. I think defense absolute isn't needed. And then here in the damage thing, should we go for super critical enhancements next? Maybe we should, because it seems pretty viable. This is at least a lot more viable than this, but this will give me more farming. So this is kind of the dilemma of why I went this way. This gets me much more farming. More coin farming gets me more enhancements. So that's why I just keep pumping the coin bonus, because it's like, oh, I think my coin collection has gone like through the stratosphere, honestly. One of the recommendations I got was to actually work on the black hole duration, because we have 48 seconds on Golden Tower. This should be up to 36. If this can even go to 36. Can this go to 36? I think it stops at 30. We're going to check. Yeah, it stops at 30 seconds. And 22 seconds to 30 seconds is about 800 stones. So we probably should consider max, and I also know we need to increase the size. I think the size of the black hole should be 44 meters. I don't know if black hole should get bigger. But I mean, the reality is, outside of getting this to 30 to max this out and spending 800 stones, the real winner here would be to continue to drop the cooldown of Golden Tower and Black Hole, if we were worried about farming coins. I don't know that we're ready to really enhance that over Chronofield. In fact, I'm gonna go with a straight out, we're not ready to do that over Chronofield. I'm just gonna straight veto that. We are hoping that Chronofield will help me do better in the tournament. We're really pinning a lot of hope on Chronofield to be able to achieve that. As we need to get 25 seconds in, or 30 seconds in base duration, which is still almost 3,000 stones for Chronofield, plus 900 stones on the slow reduction, plus the outstanding 800, it's actually 838, excuse me, on getting the cooldown, done. We are still looking at about 5,000 stones at 200 stones roughly per week, if on a good week, for Chronofield. So we're still looking at 25 weeks of upgrading just Chronofield alone before I can actually try the tournament to see if I can succeed. Now, honestly, once we have permanent Chronofield, which means we have the cooldown down to 1 minute and the duration to 1 minute, we will obviously try Champions League again and see if we can survive. If we can, great. We'll start doing 2 Champion League tournaments a week. But I'm still kind of nervous about my odds. Now, that might mean I need to work on the wall upgrades that I've kind of been neglecting. So we'll kind of see how that goes, too. So, a lot of things on the horizon, though, especially with this new enhanced thing. Personally, I'll be pretty honest. I'm personally pretty satisfied with my progress, especially with how much I can invest in enhancing myself. And I'm hoping that I can enhance myself enough that I'll have a better chance in the tournament. But the reality is, as much as I enhance myself, somebody else could enhance themselves more. And yes, I wish I could afford the stone pack, but I cannot. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm not as enhanced as I think. But we will continue to move forward and see what we can uncover. I don't know, and in terms of ultimate weapons, let's just go back to that. The next one we're going to draw is Smart Missile. And I don't know if before we pull Smart Missile, if I want to focus on my economy more. I feel like with the Enhanced Workshop, economy actually does matter a bit more. And maybe I should take some time to work on my Golden Tower. On the other hand, if I at least pull the ultimate weapon, I can at least start doing the researches for Smart Missile. So that's sort of the conundrum that we're going to be getting into. And Smart Missile is, I think, one that you want to max out. You want to get the cooldown down to 30 seconds, which is 2,000 stones out the gate. So we're already, well, it's 1,800. So we're already at 4,200 stones. And then I'm assuming you also want to shoot out 17 Smart Missiles, which is another 3,300 stones. So now we're like at 7,000 stones. And in terms of the damage multiplier, I don't know how high we need to go. Probably, I would assume we probably have to get to at least like 200 to 250. So that would be another, that's actually not too expensive to get to 250. It's 1,000 stones plus 3,000 stones. And there's probably a thing, quantity versus multiplier, that somebody has done, because like increasing the missiles from 16 to 17, you know, changes this much, and etc. And if we go back to research, I know there's a ton of research around Smart Missiles. Like you get missile barrage. Actually, I'm going to bring up the lab thing and just look at missile real quick. Nope, I don't want to share with others. Okay. So there's missile despawn time, which obviously we would need to max the missile despawn time, which is 20 researches. 40 days, it's inexpensive research relatively. There is missile explosion, which of course that's a gimme. I would do that with probably gems. It's 5-hour research, who cares? There's apparently missile radius, which is, I'm sure it's the explosion missile that probably unlocks after you get missile explosion. That's another 40-day research. Not a big deal with today's things. There's missile amp. That is a 114-day research, so that's a longer one. Missile barrage is basically a very short research, so that's not a big deal. Then there is the missile barrage quantity, which again is a very... So missile barrage and quantity, that's a nothing. Missile explosion, radius is a bit more. And then it's really going to be missile amp. Wait, radius is pretty cheap too, isn't it? Yeah, radius is 44 days. And despawn time is also 40 days. So like none of the researches are really going to take that long. Amp being the longest at 114 days. And of course, the big deal will be, of course, getting the recharge of the barrage. But that's a much more expensive. So, given that the research that's like 2 months, and that's without the boost. Given those researches, I think we probably will take a pit stop and work on economy some more. From what I remember, I was actually really close to finishing up my Golden Tower. Like, if I look at this, I'm bringing up the website. I believe I've linked the websites in a guide. If I haven't, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a FAQ and put everything in there. Golden Tower goes down to 100 seconds, and we're right now, I think we're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I think it's right there in front of me. which is 130 seconds. So we're basically just really? We're 3 away? Yep. Yeah, we have 1,500 stones to max out. So honestly, given that versus super missile, I think we're or smart missile, I think we're definitely just going to switch to do some economy. I'm actually kind of surprised we didn't just finish this. But if I get Chrono Field gets me in the tournaments and I can get far enough in the tournament, let's take a look at that. If I can at least get to the point in Champions League where I'm getting consistently ranked 12 or higher, so at least halfway. Actually, no, this is a downgrade. I need to get to rank 10. 10 or higher. If I can consistently, in Champions League, with my maxed Chrono Field, get rank 10 or higher, I will actually increase my stones per week from 195 to 260. So that will be actually huge in terms of propelling my ultimate weapons further. So that's going to be the differentiator. Can I at least get to rank 10? And I honestly don't know, and obviously I'm sure Champions League is going to be all over the place in terms of difficulty. I have no doubt about the Champions League is going to be the wild, wild west. And I probably, to even compete, need to complete the research, the second wave research. I probably need to get that up. Because I probably should get the second wind blast. I probably should do that too with the second wind thing. But we're really talking about the second wind recharge, which I don't know where they put it. It's in here somewhere. It should be in the cards research section. It is. So I'm assuming that I'd need to get this up too. So those are kind of what I'm seeing on the horizon. But again, the most important thing to remember is time playing the game. Just everything gets... The game is all about how long you've been playing. So that's really what matters. And this was a bit longer than I wanted it to be. That said, here's our multiplier now. 308 people ask me how many coins I farmed. This is the key. You have to look at this and compare mine to yours. You have to be buying your themes. You have to... I'm doing a fairly good job of enhancing myself. I'm also wondering, now we haven't beat our 6,000 record yet, when should I move to tier 11? It's about a 20% increase. So maybe we will get closer to farming tier 11 too. I'm assuming we'll need maxed out Chrono Field to even be humored here. It is unfortunate, if I go in here, the stats do not tell me what these drop, do they? Doesn't look like it. Oh, we've already skipped 4 waves. Yeah, it's funny because I have the missile for that. Yeah, it doesn't tell you. It tells you the total amount of cells earned, but not how many cells. And the problem is if you go to the wave info, these don't spawn right away. You have to actually get pretty far in. Yeah, it doesn't say at all. So again, that's my whole problem. If you know what the triangles drop, please let me know so I can know whether or not we need to increase the cells. Because again, from what I understand, they drop like 5 to 7. And at 5, if I can get to, if it is 5, the minimum that they drop in tier 10, I need to get it up to 1.2, which I don't know that that's going to be reasonable given how expensive it is. But that said, once again, as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And as always, thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.